Welcome. If you're a producer navigating European co-productions, you know the landscape is changing, and fast. Sustainability isn't just a buzzword anymore, is it? It's a line item in your funding application. In this explainer, we're going to cut through all the noise and give you a clear strategic guide to the green production tools you absolutely need to know, all based directly on the standards set by major funders like Eurimages.
So, let's just start with a really crucial question. Is your production future-proof? Because in today's market, this isn't just about environmental responsibility, it's about financial viability. Mastering green production is no longer just some ethical choice, it's become a fundamental requirement for securing funding and, frankly, for ensuring your career's longevity.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. The whole era of voluntary, nice-to-have green initiatives, well, that's over. Major European film funds are now formalizing their sustainability requirements. What this means for you is, if you want to access that co-production funding, you have to show up with a clear plan for measuring, managing, and verifying your film's environmental impact. It's just a new standard of professionalism.
And look, this isn't just guesswork. We're grounding this entire explainer in the official list of tools from Eurimages. This document you see here, this is your new roadmap. It lays out all the accepted instruments for the industry, and for any serious producer, understanding this is completely non-negotiable. So I think we all get the why at this point. The real challenge for producers on the ground is the how, right? How do you actually navigate this new ecosystem of tools and standards and protocols? Which calculator do you use for a French-German co-production? What certification is going to satisfy a Scandinavian film fund? That's the problem we're here to solve today.
To make sense of all of this, we need to start with a really simple but powerful framework. Every single tool you're going to encounter falls into one of two categories: calculators or certifications. Understanding the difference between these two is the first and, honestly, the most critical step to mastering green production.
So let's break this down. It's actually pretty straightforward. On one side, you have calculators. Think of these as your accounting software, but for carbon. They're the tools designed to measure your footprint by tracking data across every single department, from travel and energy all the way to waste management. Then on the other side, you have certifications. These are kind of like the final exam. They're the protocols that validate all your sustainable efforts, giving you that final green seal once you prove you've met a very specific set of criteria. So one measures, the other validates. That's the key. And this really shows you the workflow. It's a very logical progression. First, you use a calculator to measure your impact. That data then allows you to manage it, to see where the hotspots are and make changes to lower your footprint. And finally, you take your whole managed process and all that data to a certification body to get it officially validated or certified. Measure, manage, certify. That's the whole process in a nutshell. Okay, with that framework in mind, let's move on to the actual tools themselves. We're going to start with the most important ones for producers who are working across multiple European countries. These are your pan-European heavyweights, the tools with the broadest acceptance and application out there. Now pay close attention to these two names. Eureca. This is the primary carbon calculator designed specifically for European co-productions. It's really becoming the standard for collecting data. Then you have Green Film. This is its counterpart, the leading pan-European certification system. If you're working on a project that spans multiple countries, odds are you'll be using one or probably both of these. And here's a really crucial piece of insider knowledge for you. Bookmark this slide. Eureca isn't just another option, it's shaping up to be the future standard. It's already set to replace several of the older national calculators. The whole industry is consolidating around this tool. So what's the takeaway? Master Eureca now. It is going to save you a ton of time and headaches down the road.
Right, so now that we've covered the big pan-European level, let's drill down and get more specific. Because depending on your co-production partners, you're going to need to be familiar with the key national and regional tools that are standard in those specific territories.
This is incredibly important for anyone working in Central Europe. These four countries, Austria, Germany, Italy, and Switzerland, they use this interconnected set of calculators that they call the bridging instrument. They're all built on the same core platform, which allows for really seamless data sharing on co-productions between these specific countries. Knowing about this particular instrument is absolutely essential if you're working in that production corridor. And of course, the landscape is much broader than that. Other major production hubs have their own well-established systems. In the UK, you have Albert, which was a real pioneer in this space. France relies heavily on Carbon Clap. For certification up in Sweden, you're looking at Hållbar Film, while the Green Producers Club is a key calculator across Scandinavia. And if your co-production involves partners from the US, you're definitely going to need to know about the peer calculator from the Producers Guild of America. So, after all that, what does this all mean? We've looked at the mandate, we've looked at the framework, and we've looked at the tools. But the real takeaway here is about a shift in mindset. This isn't just about learning a new piece of software for one project. This is about integrating a whole new core competency right into your professional DNA.
Let me be as direct as I can be. Understanding this toolkit isn't just about making your productions greener or, saving the planet. It is about saving your career. Producers who can't navigate these requirements are soon going to find themselves completely unable to access premier European funding. It really is that simple.
To put it another way, think of it like this. Mastering the language and tools of green production is the new barrier to entry. It's that fundamental. Just like you need to understand chain of title or recoupment schedules, you now must understand carbon calculation and sustainability certification. This knowledge is your ticket to the table. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. As you start planning your next film, your next partnership, your next funding application, which of these tools are you going to need? Because knowing the answer to that question, well, that's the very first step to building a production that is truly sustainable and successful.